All right, we're gonna talk about a few things. We're gonna start off with Aston Martin and dive into probably
Okay.
your favorite driver, so Aston Martin. Aston Martin as a whole, right? Obviously, they recently rejoined
Yeah.
after many years out. I've always been a Sebastian Vettel fan, so when Vettel went there, hey, I have my merch. I'm
Happy. Yeah.
obviously not wearing it now because I got data analysis merch on, but Aston Martin, and then now your favorite driver went to it, which is Alonso.
Yeah.
Two questions here: Aston Martin, where do you, okay, from a competitive nature, do you actually
Yeah.
think you can ever come to the top?
Yeah. Oh.
And also Alonso, what is your experience? What do you know about Fernando Alonso?
Yeah.
Very generic. I'll just put it out there.
Yeah. No. No. Sure thing. Sure thing. So, well, what was the first question about Aston Martin? And Aston Martin, yes, I think Aston Martin can compete, for the top, and they did for a little bit of time, and then those
Everybody caught up.
those upgrades that came through, I don't know what happened there.
They messed it up.
Something bad happened. But I think Aston Martin can compete. Absolutely. I think they have the right people and the technology, and they have the right driver to build a team. Okay,
That's crazy. He left and came back, and he's still doing well. Like, is he?
But that's what's amazing about Fernando Alonso. Fernando Alonso, it's just he will not give up. That's the thing about another reason why I like Fernando Alonso. When things don't go well, most of the drivers that we talk about, all the ones that you were mentioned, they come apart. They fall apart.
100%.
You can actually, one of the things I don't like about Max is the radio.
Yeah.
The radio communications,
terrible.
I'm like, chill out, calm down, focus.
Yeah.
Right? Alonso has said a few comments here and there, but he has been in absolutely horrible conditions, in situations and conditions, and he's kind of chill. And he focuses, he doesn't give up. I mean, we have so many examples. Like, sorry, I forgot my years and my tracks, but that time that he actually pushed his car into the pit lane.
Yeah.
There was another time which actually I have a kind of like a link to that story, where he lost probably the pump for the transmission, and he was basically shifting without a clutch.
Okay.
Which is
Wait, whoa.
Yes, that was a story which even the guys, the commentators on TV, they were like, "How is the car still moving if he has no hydraulics?" And he was still shifting horribly. I mean, he was losing. He was probably losing like one spot per lap. Yes, but he was just trying to get to finish, right?
Yeah.
He was at the end, but he was shifting the car without the hydraulic system that actuates the clutch and all of that. And there's a relation to me on that story.
Yeah. What is the relation?
Because my first Aston Martin
had that Aston Martin. Okay.
Had that transmission.
Okay.
Yes. So I got the original Vanquish, the Aston Martin Vanquish, the original.
Okay.
Back in 2007, I had that, and it was a nightmare. It was a nightmare because it had a Formula One inspired. Okay, I'm not saying, God, if someone like he did not have a Formula One transmission, but he had a transmission like the Formula One transmission with the same kind of technology. And it was a big mistake because you don't put that in a passenger vehicle. But I did have a couple of episodes where I was very, very close to losing my ability to shift.
Wow.
And it was very similar to what happened to Alonso. I lost the pump, and it's a very scary thing. And then you start shifting by ear because there's no clutch.
Oh, okay.
And if you do it wrong, you're gonna pay dearly. It's gonna be a very expensive day.
Whatever.
Okay. Oh yeah.
And then now Alonso.
Yeah.
Obviously you're a big fan of him, right? He's from Spain.
Yeah.
You mentioned you may have been in the same neighborhood.
We were in this. He lived. He was born and lived. I don't know, about 200 yards away from me, or approximately. I mean, I can see I can see his building. Yeah, same neighborhood, back in Oviedo, Spain. Yes, he's younger than me. I think I'm 3 or 4 years older than him, something like that.
Yeah.
I'm the same age as his sister, but he's so his sister. But that's the story, right? His go-kart. That was not his go-kart.
Okay.
No, the father built the go-kart for the sister, who's the older one. She's the eldest.
Yeah.
And she didn't want, she had no interest whatsoever.
Yeah.
So then Alonso picked it up. So I never hang out with Alonso or anything like that because he was younger than me. When you're a kid, you don't hang out with.
Yeah, it's always age group. Yeah.
That happened, right? But but when did I hear about Alonso? Like, when was Alonso like, oh, that's Alonso? So he was already out of the go-karts.
Okay.
And so this was probably the year 1999, 98, 99, around that time. Okay. He was, I forgot which formula he was, Formula Renault or one of those, categories, right? And the cafes and bars of my neighborhood, right? There were a couple of them. Okay. I used to go there to play darts. Okay. They had the pictures of this kid, in these cars. Okay. And then, because he literally lived right up, right above, and so they had pictures like, oh my God, who's that guy? Like, oh, must be some local guy. Like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then I heard about him, and then, I think it was 2001 when he was picked up by Minardi. I could get wrong the months, but I think his first race was with Minardi in 2001, maybe 2002. Okay. Maybe he was probably 2002. Yeah. Maybe he was third driver in 2001, and then 2002. That's where when he, so around that time. I'm like, oh wow, he made it to Formula One. So then, obviously, and the rest is history. Okay. And then that mug, where's that mug from? The dealership gave me this mug when I bought my Aston Martin. Oh wow! So it's been here since 2007. Yeah. Yeah. I always ask the dealerships to be like, okay, I'm buying this car. Now you're gonna give me a hat, a T-shirt, a keychain. Oh, here's a mug. And they gave me a couple of things. They gave me a mug. They gave me, I think, 2 keychains. That was it, I think. Which sucks when you buy something that expensive. I mean, I was gonna say, like, I feel like it should give you like, you do have a ton of merch, right? Like, let's say we start about that. There's like at a time there was an ongoing joke about how many different, Aston Martin, pieces of clothing I had. Yes, wow. I had a lot. A tremendous amount. I just have one, and it's already, I washed it too much, so the sponsorships are tearing off. I'm like, oh God, I have to buy another one again. I'm buying them. What size are you? I'm a XL. I'm a big man. Next time you're around, let me know. I may give you a polo. Hey, if it fits, obviously. Yeah, I'll give it to you. It's just too big on me, but I'll give it to you. Okay, thanks. Yeah.